Alongside Brett Taveau, author of Unpacking Greatness, a Chiefs book you can find on Amazon. Brett, the Kansas City Chiefs receivers had a better game against the Vikings, including this third quarter drive when they did not have Travis Kelce, a really important drive, and four different receivers for the Chiefs came through.
Yeah, and one wasn't, one here was what I would be, consider a spectacular play. And the other three were just kind of ordinary plays, which is really what they need out of those guys, just to do the simple things well. And if you could get a splash spectacular play like Justin Watson showed there on that 3rd and 18, even better.
Yeah, the more I talk to the Chiefs coaches, the more it seems like they have kind of niche players with the receiving core, but they want to utilize those guys' strengths as best they can. So if you can combine that with Andy Reid's schematics and Matt Nagy's schematics, and then also Patrick Mahomes just making really good reads, you might have something there. So let's go ahead and break these down, and we'll start with that play you were talking about. What do you see here from this long bomb, 3rd and 18 to Justin Watson?
I was looking at this, and it really reminds me of the Wasp play in the Super Bowl, just in terms of what Mahomes does, how he understands he's getting pressured, and he buys a little bit more time, retreating from the line of scrimmage a little bit, and then he throws to space. If you pause it where he throws, or exactly when he separates to throw, like right there, I mean he throws that ball outside the hash. It's almost like on the I think it's right around the horns of the Viking there at midfield, and just throw into a space. And I know, Jesse, you and I talked last week, and we highlighted the hip angle of when he's able to throw to Kelce on that over route. Here number 24, he doesn't, his hips aren't facing the line of scrimmage, but his hips are facing towards the sideline, which he still has to get a quarter turn and able to get enough depth to potentially make a play on this ball. But it's a 7-man pressure there by the Vikings. The linebacker actually hits the center. Then he's going to release to the flat to get the center to engage with him and hopefully free up another rusher. But overall, just really good job reading space by Mahomes, and obviously going up and climbing the ladder and getting that by Watson there.
Yeah, and I heard so many people say, hey, 20 or 24 missed times his jump here. Well, part of that is what you talked about. You see the hip angle, and it's going to be hard for him to recover and get back. I mean, that's a really difficult play when the hips are turned that way. Patrick Mahomes knows that. Still a little bit underthrown, probably where he wanted, but that's what makes this a difficult play for this defender.
Yeah, and this play here, if you pause it if you rewind it just a little bit there, go ahead a little bit more. You see your 3-level flood concept developing there. That's, we looked at Y cross last week, or I'm sorry, it was the pylon concept with the corner route by number 1. This is just another way that they get to these flood concepts, obviously, from a different formation.
Let's go ahead and get to this next one. This is going to be the Justin Ross play to the outside, and Mahomes makes a pretty good read with this one.
This is so simple. I mean, this is a 7-man protection, and everybody's hitching up. It's an all hitch concept. He's only have 3 routes, but it's so easy. If you could roll back to the snap, please, Jesse. It's as simple as Mahomes looking right now. He's just looking at the cushion right now. You look at the bottom of the screen here. You got a corner that appears to be rolled up. Now he's going to bail, because those guys like to play games. They like to show press and then bail, come up late, so they're forcing the quarterback to process as much post snap as possible. But right here, it's just like I said, 3 hitches, 7-man pro, and up top you got the biggest cushion. So he's able to get the ball out quickly to Ross, and then Ross does the basics well. He catches it cleanly, gets to the outside, secures the ball, and gets another couple of yards after the catch.
So much Mahomes is talking about the exotic looks the Vikings give you and how deep teams are playing the Chiefs. This is what they're doing. They're taking 8 or 9 free yards. And if the other team's going to give you 8 or 9 free yards, it's pretty wise to just take it. And that's what Mahomes does really well here. He does something pretty simple.
Yeah, and it's possible. I know that the Vikings are in, what looks to be either a cover 6 or quarters look here, but obviously Justin Ross had that vertical catch in the first half. Where they pressed him on the backside of, I believe it was a quad set. So it's possible this DB has, in mind that, hey, I got to give this guy a little cushion here, so I don't get run by.
Let's move over to MVS. And this one is where you want to talk about exotic. The Vikings get really exotic, bring a 6-man pressure and play a zone behind it. And what do you know? Mahomes makes another good read.
Yeah, you pointed this out to me. I don't know if I've ever seen this coverage before. I'm sure I have, but it's a 3 deep, I believe, a 2 under zone look, and it's as simple as what you have here. is this out of this bunch formation, they're going to run a smash concept with somebody in the hook curl there, kind of a smash snag, but they're stretching this corner here, number 7. You've got a corner route by Watson, and obviously a quick out by MVS, and Mahomes just does a great job of understanding. Again, talking about the hip angle, he sees the corner bail, the hips are pointed inside. There's no way he can cap or cover that space on the outside. And then the finish here was impressive to me. I don't know if I've ever seen that on MVS.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, this is it's good recognition because, again, if we're going to go this 3 deep, 2 under coverage, basically the holes in this is going to be out to the outsider on the 15-yard line. So Patrick Mahomes finds the perfect player on this particular play to potentially get a first down. But like you said, with the smash concept, you got the 83 Gray who kind of comes back inside, and then you've got a receiver coming out in MVS. That's supposed to put a high-low on that defender if he's kind of a flat defender, but instead he's like a back deep third defender. So again, Mahomes seeing some weird things, but still able to decipher all that in real time and get to the right guy. And like you said, a really good finish by MVS.
And I've mentioned this before. Everybody talks about Mahomes' physical skills, the plays he makes, the arm talent, I guess, the different angles, but just his processing it's next level as well. And I don't know if he gets enough credit for that because the other parts of his game are so good, but he's just elite when it comes to being able to repay space post snap.
We talk about the hips too, Brett. You talk about, hey, the hips there with number 7 and Mahomes getting that ball out. It makes a very tough closeout, and that gives MVS a chance to get upfield.
I'm going to go ahead and say both you and I could have completed that ball right there. No, he wouldn't have got as much run after the catch, but we could have got it there with the
one out of 2 of us would have completed that one. 1 out of 2 of us. Let's go with that. All right, final one here. This one goes to Rashee Rice in the end zone. So walk us through this one and what the Chiefs see here pre-snap with putting some motion to try to read the coverage.
Sure. I mean, that's an Andy Reid thing. He's so big on the use of motion, particularly in the pass game. Obviously, indicates man coverage, but if you could pause it there at the snap. So what you have here is man coverage across the board. They're getting a little bit more cushion up top, but to the trip side up top, you have outside leverage by, I guess it's the nickel and rolled down safety, whoever it might be. That's covering Watson and Rice up top, and they usually in man coverage you're taking away your inside leverage, but they have outside leverage here because they're going to have help from inside breaking routes from 24 here. He doesn't have to cover anything deep, so he's basically going to come down and rob anything inside. So they're allowed to play outside leverage and not get beat on outs and things like that there.
And so we see Watson's actually the middle receiver here, the number 3 in between the hashes there. He takes that guy away, and Mahomes sees that. And also Rice is able to get inside his defender, which puts his defender in a little bit of a bind.
Yeah, so, I mean, Watson does his job of taking his defender inside and then obviously occupying that extra player that's there to take away those inside breaking routes. And Rice's defender, he's in a very, very challenging position because, like I said, on the snap, he appeared to be outside leverage, and now that he has no help to the inside, it's pretty easy there.
Yeah, it's a small note. We talk about these young receivers and kind of what they're going through here. You see Rashee Rice tells Justin Ross where to go before the snap, so something to note there. But Mahomes also said today, one of the things he was impressed by Rashee Rice is they practiced this play during practice against 2 different defensive looks, and this was not either one of them by the Vikings. So again, being able to kind of process post-snap and have these 2 guys be on the same page, a pretty big play for the Chiefs in this regard.
Absolutely, and I think that's the value of just, and I've seen this concept before. I don't recall it this year, but just running these really kind of double slants with 2 and 3 there. Just when you rep a play so much, it's the kind of the old air raid philosophy. You rep a play so much, you're able to work it against different coverages and even unexpected looks because you're so comfortable with it. So that's interesting. He said that because it's designed and exactly to kill what we see there.
4 receivers, 4 good plays by the Chiefs, 1 really good processing quarterback, and also a head coach and offensive coordinator who know what they're doing, resulted in a really nice drive for the Chiefs, even without one of their best players, and helped them win this game against the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday. It's going to wrap it up with the details. For Brett, this is Jesse. Be sure to tune in for another episode next week.